When it comes to trash reality television, I absolutely love that shit. So I've been getting back-to-back Instagram and Facebook ads of this show called FBoy Island, and I decided to check out the reviews because these ads were relentless. As expected, people said it was trash, it was this, it was that. A lot of mixed reviews, and so for me personally, I was like, damn, I know I'm gonna love this show, so let me go ahead and watch it, and that's what I did. I'm sure some people that are clicking on this have seen it and have so many thoughts going through your head, and I'm gonna say some of the words unsaid on the show because this show was a roller coaster. This show was a doozy, honey. I'm surprised, like, why aren't more people talking about this show? Like, it's the new Too Hot to Handle, except instead of being on Netflix, it's on HBO. So we gonna talk about the show. We gonna go through every episode. I'm gonna express the things that are going through your mind as you watch the show, and if you have not seen it, let me go ahead and take you through the show with me. FBoy Island, we all know what F-boy means, but you know, HBO has to make it consumer family friendly title, and Urban Dictionary, F-boy basically means a guy who's a womanizers. This is the type of guy you would not take home to mom and dad. This is the type of dude that, you know, you have a one night stand with, you party a little bit. He's a cute summer fling, but that's it. So the show FBoy Island is about 24 guys, 12 guys considered nice guys, 12 consider themselves F-boys. And all 24 of them are competing for Instagram followers and the affection of 3 women who are Nikia, Silas from LA.
For the first time in my life, I feel like I am ready for love.
Sarah, social media manager from Chicago.
I'd love to find true love. I'm not sure if I believe it yet, but I'm open to the possibility.
And CJ, who models and is also from Los Angeles as well.
I like funny guys. I like silly guys. I like dumb guys. Like dumb and fun.
So in the beginning of the show, we have no idea who the nice guys and the F-boys are, and it's up to us to guess it, which is kind of the fun part about the show. Well, except for this guy who
Garrett, and I'm a certified F-boy. I'm the king of the F-boy.
There is also a cash prize. The show isn't very specific about how that's going to be dispersed, but we assume that any guy who makes it towards the end and stays there has a chance of winning up to $100,000. The guys and girls meet by the poolside, and the 3 girls pick guys that they're interested in to talk with later that evening. So we meet pretty boy Colin, a brown-skinned dude with the attitude of a light skin, who expresses explicit interest in Nikia. And that goes well. But later that evening, there's a guy called Garrett P. When he tries to talk to Nikia, like, Nikia is not interested. She gives him the side eye, and which I kind of think is actually kind of rude.
Garrett just walks up to me and Colin. Garrett came on very strong. I'm not quite sure why he's acting like I'm his girlfriend already. It's a little weird.
Alright. Go ahead. It's okay.
So Nikia thinks it's sexy when Colin interrupts her conversation with another guy, but when Garrett P does it, it's coming off too strong. Girl, if you don't like white guys, just say that. We also meet Peter, who's into CJ, and they talk. But we are warned about Peter moving a little bit too fast as a sign of an F-boy. And later, another guy named Jamie talks to CJ, which does not go well and ends prematurely when Jamie is trying to have like a flirtatious banter, and he jokingly calls her toxic, which she does not take well. So we're also introduced to Chris P, the Keemstar of F-boy Island, who stirs up drama by telling that Colin is an F-boy. CJ also meets Casey, and right away they hit it off. The next day, the 3 ladies choose 3 guys that they want to go on dates with, and in the first elimination, Garrett P, Peter, and Andrew are sent home despite, surprisingly, despite a very awkward moment that Garrett tried with his poem to save his ass.
I knew I was gonna get a chance to at least say something to you, and I wrote you a poem.
And we find out that Garrett and Andrew were the nice guys, and then Peter was the F-boy. So it turns out instead of the guys actually leaving the island, the nice guys are sent to Nice Guy Grotto, which is like a tropical paradise vacation home for the nice guys that were eliminated, and then the F-boys end up going to Limbro, a purgatory rehabilitation center for F-boys. Meanwhile, the remaining cast members are paired up into 3 groups to play a water balloon fight. Also, one of the nice guys leaves due to a health issue. The top 3 guys are chosen by the girls for a date. During Greg and Nikia's date, we learn that Greg used to be a club promoter, which alerts her F-boy radar. Later that evening, CJ talks more to Mark. He learned by the conversation, followed by Casey, who puts on his moves and initiates the first kiss with CJ. We're also introduced to Divij as he talks to Sarah, and later brings in Little Dick energy as he trash talks the guys about CJ being high maintenance and unintelligent to converse with. Next morning, more dates follow. CJ, impressed by the night before, decides to invite Mark, but that's a complete fail. Whereas the night before he was all charming and flirtatious, his jokes turn raunchy and distasteful.
F-boy thing I could possibly pick up on are like the types of jokes he's telling.
Guy walked into a sperm bank. Doctor says get a load of this guy.
Sarah chooses Josh, a marketing executive with quite a nice voice. Josh is zaddy. Like, I don't know about you, but like Josh. And during the day, he makes no move on Sarah until later that night, they kiss. Nikia chooses Jared, like literally the Black Hulk, like he built like the Hulk. So he admits to being adopted, and that resonates a lot with Nikia because she did not grow up with both of her parents as well. And our official Snoop Chris spills the tea to CJ about Divij trash talking from earlier. And next elimination, Divij, Israel, and Charlie are sent home. They're yeeted off the island, but not without some saucy words from CJ.
Divij, for someone who's so concerned with my literacy, you don't know how to read a room.
Don't say that.
Good luck on your journey finding the low-maintenance woman of your dreams.
Damn! But plot twist ensues when Charlie says he's leaving as a nice guy when the producers call him out for being an F-boy.
100% a nice guy.
We have hours of casting footage where Charlie's admitting he's an F-boy.
Charlie, I gotta say, I did not know this, but I'm being told you came here as an F-boy. You've had glasses of water thrown at you in restaurants because you were there with a woman that thought she was your girlfriend, and then another woman that thought she was your girlfriend sees you.
The next day, we're introduced to 3 new guys, Love Island style. Welcome new Jared and Jomar. Right before a photo shoot competition where the guys gauge their chemistry with the girls. Light-skinned personality Colin is rejected by Nikia for a kiss, and there's already drama between the now OG Jared and new Jared.
Excuse me, move over. There we go, family. I mean, you coming in hot. You ain't gonna tell me to move over, though. You're gonna have to put some respect on it, though. Straight up. We grown men, right? You moved over, right?
He's just been talking a little bit of smack. He's been in our ear like a mosquito, bugging. If you approach me this way, you cross me that way, then we're gonna have problems. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Followed by more awkward chauvinism between the guys later that night as they argue once more.
You just have to goober. It's kind of funny. Look what you're wearing, goober. Now, you might want to get a bigger shirt. Seriously. Can you breathe in that shirt?
No, that's ignorant.
Usually there's a part of my mind that's like, no, Jared, don't. That voice never came.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Hey, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, let me just like check on Jared really quick.
Let me tell you something.
Can I talk, bro? Can I talk? You're a dick. Can I talk?
There's nothing.
I swear to God, new Jared's roasts are just so hilarious. Like, it got me rolling. The rest of the girls take the evening to meet the new guys. Sarah talks to Welcome, and Garrett interrupts Sarah and Welcome and snags a kiss from her. CJ talks to Jomar, who shares he's never had a relationship, which F-boy alert. And later that night, Casey snags a second kiss with CJ. And when Colin and Nikia talk, Colin asks like why Nikia rejected their kiss from earlier, and Nikia basically says she did not want to, it wasn't the right time. And girl, you go girl, like expressing agency. But the difference between this situation with Colin and Garrett P from earlier is that she actually expresses her feelings in an adult manner to Colin, whereas with Garrett P, she doesn't even respectfully address him. Elimination throws another twist when Sarah chooses to eliminate Chris. But CJ gets adamant about him staying, and so she sacrifices Matt in his place, leaving Mark, Matt, and Jamie to pack their bags. However, Matt, he does not go without spilling some tea, some piping hot tea from what Garrett has said about Sarah from the back. And he goes off, honey. So he says that Garrett wouldn't even talk to any of the girls if it wasn't for the show, that he's all into these girls with like big boobs, and like Sarah's not ready for a relationship. And he says that Garrett has a girlfriend.
And Greg has a girlfriend?
Oh, beer?
No.
Oh. nap.
There's also, apparently, Garrett has a girlfriend back home.
I'm glad. He has this boy has a girlfriend. And when Garrett, taken by total surprise, is confronted with this information, he basically denies the claims. He says that, you know, they're taking a break before the show, and like essentially it's nothing for Sarah to be worried about.
And before I came here, we both agreed that we're gonna take a break.
I think the point is, like, it's a break. It's not, like, final. You didn't break up.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when you come here, like, looking for love. I would say that, you know, she's probably hurt for sure. Just because, again, no, I'm saying the truth. I mean, she was definitely hurt.
It's just funny that you think I'm not ready for a relationship if that's what your situation is.
So the following morning, the ladies discuss the previous night's elimination, and Nakia calls Garrett a flaming F-boy, which, girl, I'm with you 100% on that opinion. From what we've seen so far, I get signs of just dripping dishonesty from this guy. For example, let me just show you guys this.
I started to like Sarah probably after our first date.
Now, what's happening here is I can tell this guy's lying from the get-go. He says things like he probably likes her, looking to find like love.
I'm here to find, you know, love. I'm coming here. Like, I'm here, like, to find love. Sarah, like, I love.
And I know it seems really trivial, but just hear me out. When people are lying, people generally feel uncomfortable with lying. And so, without even realizing it, we tend to distance ourselves from that word. And so he's adding filler words like probably likes her because he feels uncomfortable and he feels dissociated with those feelings. And it's not to say that Garrett doesn't like Sarah at all as a person, but if I had no foresight of viewing his behind the camera interviews, his use of language is telling of his underlying intent. I mean, but what do you guys think? Do you feel some other type of way? So Garrett tries to reconcile with Sarah, but is obviously met with opposition. He says that they ended their relationship before the show, him and his ex, and it's not a break, which is different from what he said the night before. Like, boy, why are you changing up your stories? And he also says that, you know, the girl is probably hurt that he's there, but like she understands. And so, I mean, and that's the case, Sarah contemplates, like, is that even like mutual? Is it really mutual like you say it is? If she's hurt that you're here?
It's weird the way you worded that last night. You didn't say you broke up or anything like that, so that just seemed weird. And then you also said that she was hurt, but it was also mutual, which were two contradictory things.
But Sarah says that she's smarter than that and for Garrett to play with her, which let us remember that, y'all. Later that evening, CJ talks to Casey about his blooming bromance with Garrett, and she's on the offense when she criticizes their friendship and implicitly wants him to stop talking to Garrett. But Casey does make a good point when he says, like, what kind of friend would he be if he just like left Garrett? Apparently after 4 days, this dude's in love with Garrett, but I mean, he makes a good point. Just because your girl is not like your friend, it's not fair to just tell your guy, like, do not hang out with this person. And OG Jared and Nakia further strengthen their connection, but Colin interrupts and they finally kiss. OG Jared ain't happy. He confronts Nakia about how he doesn't like it, and it's just awkward how he expresses his jealousy. He basically expresses that he doesn't want Nakia to like talk to anyone, and they've been there for like 4 days. I mean, what does OG Jared want? Does he want Nakia just to be, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna talk to any of these guys. I'm not gonna go through this experience. I mean, this is really awkward the way he's going about it, but Nakia basically ends the conversation as she should, and big yikes at the tension between them. The next day, everyone partakes in a dance competition. When choosing guys on their team, Garrett is last, a sign that he is still not forgiven by the girls. And during Nakia's performance, he's even pushed into the pool, which, dang, it is hot and spicy with the tension. Like, low-key, the dance competition is kind of like cringy, kind of awkward. I mean, got the coordination of something's going on with that coordination, girl. But Nakia's team wins. Nothing. Later in the evening, Colin and Nakia vibe and kiss some more. OG Jared apologizes, and Casey is determined to help change the ladies' opinion of Garrett. As he confronts CJ again about their previous confrontation, CJ is turned off and decides to give other men chances to make connections with, starting with New Jared. The chemistry between New Jared and CJ is different from Casey and CJ. It's different because between CJ and Casey, it's very much like a fun, flirtatious type of dynamic, but with New Jared, it's a little bit different because he's really trying to establish connection. He goes into why they make a good pair. New Jared goes into like her personality and, you know, how he likes that, how they can complement each other, which I thought was like an interesting observation.
I feel like you're very, you know, open, very confident, and I felt like the way that you led today was absolutely, honestly, that's why I was kind of shy. You know, I like a woman who leads. I really do. And you took control, and you led a group of 6 men.
So the women choose who they want to spend the night with them. CJ chooses boy toy Casey, and Casey makes one more attempt to stand his ground by essentially saying it's not cool to dictate who he spends his time with. CJ does not reciprocate with that and sends him to the boys' dorm for the night. She basically kicks him out.
The two-way street is a 50-50 relationship. So I'm gonna have some decisions in this too, okay? Because I know you could walk all over all these other guys, but you're not gonna walk over me.
I think you're confused, Casey. I think you're super confused right now.
You think I'm confused?
Pterodactyl!
Which I think it was a little bit disrespectful of CJ just to close out the conversation, which clearly Garrett said some really shocking things. But I just thought it was a little bit childish to just dismiss him like that and just be like, well, go home now.
Let's just talk this.
You're too comfortable, to be honest. And you thinking that you can pop off on me.
Betrayer.
Confused.
I'm not popping off on you. At all.
And Nakia chooses OG Jared, angering inner light-skinned Colin, and Sarah chooses Chris as another FU to Garrett. And Sarah learns about Chris's propensity for a food fetish during a very awkward date. So during Eliminations, 6 guys are chosen to be judged against the women. As they choose the final 3 guys to eliminate from that, there's another plot twist. Nikki announces that all 6 guys are going home instead of 3, shocking CJ, who doesn't look like she intended to send Casey home. She just basically wanted to just warn him. But we find out that nice guy Paul, nice guy Tariq, nice guy Cameron, F-boy Anthony, F-boy Kevin, and F-boy Casey are being sent home. But not without a few choice words from Casey, who goes off on CJ about how he feels like CJ disrespected him and that she does not deserve any of the guys, especially Sean. So Great Value Keemstar is not happy about Josh furthering his connection with Sarah.
Josh is like a Toyota Camry. He's like safe and predictable. You know, your boy's like a Ferrari. Like, I move fast and with conviction.
I mean, Josh may seem like a boring dude, but isn't that a quality of a nice guy? Nakia and Colin kiss, a spiteful kiss intended by Colin towards OG Jared, and Garrett, with his big fat liar looking ass, makes another attempt to reconcile with Sarah, and Sarah seems a little bit too hot and bothered to think with her head instead of her groin to move past Garrett. So Garrett still isn't completely forgiven, but she still humors like they could perhaps work together to eventually be on good terms. She later talks to Chris, but when Josh interrupts, Chris ain't happy. Later in the evening, Chris continues his little dick energy by feuding with Josh, and the ladies are brought into the argument, turning off Sarah from Chris's behavior completely. The next challenge is appropriately called Douche Tank, where the guys have to sit under a bucket, answer questions, and if they do not answer the question to the women's liking, they get dunked with a bucket of water. Okay, personally, I think the ladies were doing a little bit too much. For example, so Greg was asked to give like an F, marry, kill option, and I think his answer was pretty cute. But Nakia, why are you dunking? Like, that question was a trap. And when Chris was questioned about the prior night before what happened with Josh, bro, he gave the most fakest answer ever. And Sarah dunked him, as she should.
It's excellent that the girls are on my side. You feel better, Josh? Great. I just feel like the way he's going about it, he's being like super acting like a bitch.
Chris, we know your true colors. So the ladies are given another opportunity to let more guys spend the night with them. And Nakia chooses Greg, Tara chooses Garrett, giving the opportunity for Sarah to forgive him. And they kiss, and CJ chooses Sean, and they kiss. The following elimination drops even more surprises as Nikki decides no one is going home tonight, but everyone is revealing their status, whether they are a nice guy or a net boy. And I'm shook. No secrets, everyone's being revealed. And this tea drops after OG Jared faces the elimination chopping block and says that he's falling in love with Nakia. So, I mean, do you believe this? Like, personally, I'm just thinking, you really want that $100,000, don't you? Take a moment to pause the video and guess who you think are the nice guys and the FBoys, and comment below how many you got right. So Josh ends up being a nice guy, Colin ends up being an FBoy, OG Jared is an FBoy, Welcome is an FBoy, Jomar is an FBoy, New Jared is a nice guy, Fernando is a nice guy, Sean is a nice guy, Greg is a FBoy, Chris is an FBoy, Garrett is a FBoy, leaving us with 4 nice guys and 7 FBoys. Back at Limbro, Casey expresses remorse for CJ, and the ladies are given laptops to check out the social media accounts of the guys. And on Garrett's Instagram, they find another woman on there. Like, girl, strike 2 for Sarah. How much proof do you need? Confronted with visual evidence, Sarah publicly gives Garrett 2 options. Pack your shit, or they need to go on Skype call with the girlfriend ASAP. CJ and New Jared continue talking, and Nakia takes time to ask OG Jared why he's an FBoy. The reason satisfies Nakia in the kiss, initiated by OG Jared to show off to the other guys when they doubt his genuinity from the night before. In an explosive argument between Colin and OG Jared, Colin alludes to OG Jared being deceptive, and OG Jared shares that Colin said he doesn't even intend on being with Nakia after the show. So the next morning, the ladies go on dates. Afterwards, Garrett faces the music and he agrees to speak with his ex. Now, I got a few feelings on this. Okay, the way Garrett's girl ex was talking was suspect as hell.
My first question is, are you and Garrett currently in a relationship?
No, we're not in a relationship.
Okay. Were you guys ever in a relationship? You were? Okay.
Do you think that I'm ready for another relationship?
That's not a question that I can answer. That's only a question that you can answer.
Cool.
Is Garrett someone that I can trust?
What a stupid question that is.
Those questions are invasive on my privacy.
Her tone, they were like, oh, no, everything's fine. Yes, he's a great guy. I trust him with everything. They were in cahoots.
I feel like she was lying through her teeth, and clearly CJ seemed to think so too. But even more telling was Garrett's response. I know his type, and it screams pure toxicity. The way that he huffs and puffs when Lauren does not say the answers that he wants, the way that he wants it to, the way he gets up in anger and is so pissed and is not understanding of the situation at all. He's mad that Lauren's being asked questions about whether they're still together. At the following elimination, the ladies are told that they picked 3 guys to save instead of picking their guys to eliminate. However, CJ is adamant about only picking 2 guys because her interests only fall with the 2 guys. It gives the other ladies a chance to choose 1 more guy to save, allowing Sean and New Jared, Josh, Garrett, and Welcome, Fernando, Colin, Greg, and OG Jared to stay. Chris and Jomar are eliminated. In a totally unscripted turn of events, Casey escapes from Limbro to be with CJ and rejoins the competition. They officially reconcile, and CJ even apologizes.
I want you to know I'm gonna be nicer to you, and I'm gonna treat you with more respect.
Do you guys think this apology is genuine? The bromance is reunited, and CJ and Sean implicitly come to a conclusion that they're probably better off as friends. There's a double date before the next elimination. Nakia, OG Jared, and Fernando go on one of the most cringiest setup of a date.
I don't hate you, and I'm not even threat. I actually want to kick it with her one-on-one, and I bet she'd probably like that too, to be honest. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna do something about it.
I'm here, my man, and I'm here to stay.
I feel like I'm caught in between a little mini war. Are they fighting over me or over their chest hairs?
Terrible job, producers. That's so cringy. Sarah spends time with the human version of a Cheeto, and they end up making out. And CJ cooks with New Jared and Casey. And there's more drama between OG Jared and Nakia about how his words are not matching with his actions. Greg is eliminated, and the remaining guys participate in a twerk-off.
Now they know why they call me Nasty Nando.
Afterwards, inner light skin Colin tries to put the moves on Nakia, but she's more distracted about what's going on below.
What is that on my leg? What is that on my leg?
Fix yourself. Fix yourself.
Oh, you're nasty.
Garrett continues to put on the moves on Sarah. Casey and CJ talk more about Casey's intent in the competition. And Casey says that he was originally there for money, but meeting CJ changed his mind.
Stop the cap.
By the following day, they're smooching it up on a yacht, and homeboy Garrett is really impressed by Sarah's adventurous side while snorkeling for stingrays. And OG Jared and Nakia make up. Now, when new Jared spends time with CJ, he acknowledges the connection that she has with Casey, but makes a damn good point about what her decision boils down to.
If you want a boy toy, I mean, you know where to find them. If you want a man, I'm sitting right here with you.
Later that evening, Josh and Sarah spend time together, but I get the vibes that she's becoming slightly disinterested. And the romance continues between Cheeto Man and Casey, and they officially decide to move in together. In the second to last elimination, Welcome, Sean, and Colin are kicked to the curb, and we get a few departing words from inner light-skinned Colin about his true intentions.
I'd be dumb as fuck not to take the money. You can't change an F-boy. Everybody taking that money other than Nando.
The tea is spilled in the second to last episode, when the remaining cast have the chance to tell the girls all the final dirt they have on the contestants.
In your first date, he came back and said to me, you want to use his money to start your own business, insinuating that you were like a gold digger. And he said if you guys do walk out in LA together, that he's gonna have to buy you a fake pair of boobs because all of his girls have fake boobs.
Anthony comes in with more information with his theory that Garrett probably spoke to his girl to play along with their breakup, which facts, #facts. Welcome tries to call out Josh on a previous elimination that he had written speech.
Hat you have? I seen a speech in there.
So the worst thing we have on Josh is that he comes prepared.
Boy, you tried it. And Chris P shared that Casey called CJ a glorified escort.
Or in a case you're a glorified escort. Also, he said he can't wait to get that money and teach you a lesson. What's the lesson? Probably that you were just here for the money?
And that she's a gold digger. Casey gets hella upset. He leaves, walks off, but he eventually comes back and does a really terrible job at defending himself. And Colin calls OG Jared as a manipulator.
You've been playing a facade the whole time. You say that I'm not falling in love with this person. You're just saying it just to say it just so you can be her number one.
Did you tell Nakia about the 1,500 girls you about to have in your DM?
And when confronted with his previous confession of love.
Do you like her or love her?
I like her a lot and I feel as though I love her.
I mean, what is it? Is it love or like? Now you switching up the story, my dude. And Anthony calls Fernando a hoe and the type of girls he gets back at home. So later that evening, each F-boy and nice guy remaining for each woman are given 24-hour dates. Casey later confronts CJ about earlier and it does not go well. Simply their trust is eradicated. And Sarah asks Garrett about the fake boobs comment.
Someone that I dated about the fake tits.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're like asking people like, oh, do you guys like fake tits or do you like real tits?
Yeah, everyone's entitled to preferences. I absolutely hate it when a guy comments on a girl's body.
Now, I feel like Sarah's making excuses for Garrett's behavior because maybe he's like a good kisser, maybe she hasn't been laid in a while, but like I feel like she's just thinking more with what's between your legs than what's up here. OG Jared and Nakia have another argument, and I got nothing to say. It's just a whole ass mess. So the next day, the girls had their 24-hour dates with the nice guys first. And let me just open up the sermon on the facts that the nice guys are speaking right now.
Garrett is still around. Like, it's confusing to me. Like, I don't understand. They've had their issues.
It would be very telling to me if you want a complete package, right, or if you want a work in progress.
So after the nice guy dates, the ladies have their final date before the elimination with the F-boys. On CJ's date, Casey expresses remorse for his words he said, leaving CJ confused. CJ initially wants Casey to sleep downstairs later that night, but later she decides that she wants Casey to spend the night upstairs with her instead. Nakia and OG Jared reconcile by the poolside, and the boy whose head built like a dirty Q-tip makes amends with Sarah. So the morning of the final elimination, the guys discuss their date, and not without a final few words.
Oh, it was a cop.
Come on. You know.
That's a question.
You know, us three don't be sleeping on no cots.
So you didn't even touch the cot, you didn't even sit down?
I mean, I was up early doing cardio, so.
Yeah, you was up doing cardio?
Yeah, we both, yeah. I saw.
How's my dick taste?
He did not just say that, I'm dead. But we about to get to the final elimination. CJ ends up choosing knew Jared. And at this point, I thought that they would be given the option of the $100,000 because the beginning of the show literally assumed everyone has options of earning the $100,000, but turns out, I guess they changed the rules and now it's just the F-boys that get the opportunity, which I thought that this was kind of annoying. HBO, you got free actors all up on your show and y'all can't even dish out $300,000 for the winners. And Sarah, she ends up choosing Garrett.
I'm so damn confused.
And because he's an F-boy, he gets the option of keeping $100,000 or splitting it with Sarah and continuing their relationship. But Garrett chooses the money. Yo, he's not afraid to be the bad guy, and everyone's just shook. But he made his choice.
It's a game that I came here to win, and I'll be leaving here still an F-boy.
And Nakia, she ends up choosing OG Jared, and when he's given the option about what to do with the money, he decides to split the money. But one last twist. So Nikki decides to take the money away from Garrett and gives the choice of Sarah to choose the charity that she wants the $100,000 to go to. And I really want to know people's opinion on this. Like, granted, Garrett was cold as hell, but he did play the game. Everyone there was expecting to win the $100,000 if they made it to the very end, and he did. Which I still think a charity is a better option than giving the money to Garrett. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like he didn't exactly not deserve it for winning. And then they just take it away. It's like learned as like a lesson. But I feel like that's so superficial because Casey was an F-boy, right? But they decided to just bring him back after all the things that he said about CJ being a glorified escort. So Casey doesn't get punished, but Garrett gets punished. There's a lot of inconsistencies going on in the show. Personally, I just think the execs were like, you know what? Look, we trying to make the show as cheap as possible, so let's make whatever excuse possible to take the money away from them. And so that's basically the end of the show. I gotta mention something though. Props to the cast diversity in the show. I absolutely love that the cast is so diverse, and I'm really sick of seeing a lot of dating shows where there's 20 different versions of Karens and Kevins, and I love that. So in the beginning of the show, you can tell there's a lot of guys that are not interested in getting to know the women, and I feel like the show should have done a better job at casting more likable women. Not to say that they aren't likable as it is, however, there were many things that they had done that showed a really bad side to their character. Like when Nakia disrespected Carrot P and was not adult enough to just tell him she was not interested or she didn't want to talk to him. Like that was childish. That's like some high school stuff. If you're an adult and just express, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, or we're not vibing right, instead of just awkwardly doing this. Like, I just thought that was so rude and really immature. And I'm sure a lot of the guys sensed that there as well. And CJ suffering from pretty girl syndrome, where there were many times where she gave off a sense of entitlement and that she's always right. She had the audacity to tell a guy who isn't even her boyfriend who he should hang out with and get mad when he does not comply. If any guy says something like remotely offensive, she just dismisses them, and then the other girls are on her defense. Like, they make excuses for inappropriate behavior, in my opinion, that should not be made excuses for. I think it was kind of rude that she gave no qualms and did not really consider his feelings, and I feel like that's just like a bad message to send off, that it's okay to not listen to your partner. Or Sarah showing immaturity by choosing a liar like Garrett to be with. First, like, the women go in the show stating that they're looking for love, they're looking for a new type of love, and they dated crappy guys in the past and they want to move forward with more mature guys. Clearly that isn't accurate since you chose Garrett rather than Josh. Make it make sense. So we all know people go on reality TV because they there for clout. They there for clout. Not because of love, really. Clearly. So a big question, where is the cast now? So OG Jared and Nakia. On Instagram, totally blank. They do not feature each other at all. Personally, I presume that, you know, they're not together. There's a video of Nakia like FaceTiming, video calling OG Jared and Colin, and they don't seem to be on the best of terms. I think Nakia is in LA, and maybe he changed his location now, but he started off in Miami, so there's a distance there as well. So I don't think that they're together now. And CJ and Jared, both of their social medias, no ounce of anywhere that they are together. However, CJ ended up stating that they are still dating, but it's long distance. And Garrett and Sarah, they're both located in LA. Sarah, from the beginning of the show, she stated she's from Chicago, but now she's in LA. And based on a recent TMZ, they obviously like aren't dating or together or anything, but Garrett alludes that he wants to apologize and hash things out with Sarah. But that's basically where they are right now. So this show was a lot. And there's only so much I can condense in 10 hours of showtime in a 40-minute video, but this show is definitely worth watching and there's so much more I was not able to include. This video took a long time to make. Show me some appreciation by dropping me some love with a simple thumbs up for this video. And thank you so much for watching. Like, let me know your thoughts about this crazy ass show. There is so many twists and turns. Like, I was not expecting there to be so many twists and turns, which made it a lot more entertaining to watch, but you know what to do if you want to see more of my content. And thanks for watching.